conversation.
But I think the subtlety is the issue. It gets to a point where I'm not allowed to call something racist anymore. We're not allowed to say something is racist. People don't want to have a conversation about race because it doesn't exist anymore. Obama is president, and I'm very uncomfortable with that, with the movement towards this colorblind society. I want you to see that I am a Dominican American Jew. I just don't want you to use it against me.
Well, because as a Dominican American Jew, you know how to make the best kosher lamahadra fried plantains in New York, probably, and I'm hoping you make them sweet like Puerto Rican people do too. But yeah, that you bring something to the table, which multiplicity of ethnic groups.
Well, that brings up the whole thing. What strengths do we bring?
That's the beauty of it. If there's one thing that I really feel like is coming and must come, is this idea where we all get to bring our full selves to Judaism. What's core for me is to be able to stand here and say, my people, we have been robbed. You have been robbed because you don't get to hear the authentic Negro spirituals that come out as me wrote at my Shabbos table. You have been robbed. You have been robbed when you can't lay claim to the full expanse of what Jewish can mean in the world as well as in the United States. So me bringing my full self to this experience is essential. It's essential to the progression of my nation, to the progression of my people. These are my people. I don't need anybody's permission for these to be my people. They've been my people for many generations now in my family. But when I come, I'm coming on my terms. My soul is expressed through this that you see right here. This is the physicality that goes with this soul. I'm not looking for any other. I love it just exactly as it is. Let me express it as a Jew. And when I come to the Bima and I want to be able to sing in my song, in my soul, let it be.
Because you're offering something very
Don't
rich.
start telling me about how it's got to sound like my Yiddish mama. It does not have to sound like my Yiddish mama to be Jewish or authentically Jewish. It needs to sound like this because this is what is.
Because you're an authentic Jew.
Honey, and this is what it looks like.
I think I also feel like as a convert, like I'm a bridge between, I was a bridge between the Dominican and the Orthodox Jewish community in Washington Heights. I'm a bridge between Jews and non-Jews. I still identify with non-Jews. I don't want to listen to goy jokes. And, I think it's beautiful that, my little sister, who's not interested in being a Jew, who loves celebrating Passover and knows actually more about just basic Judaism than a lot of Jews do. For a while, people just assumed that she was like a secular Israeli because she was correcting, people making comments about, different Jewish holidays and different Jewish observance because people just don't know.
So there's a richness, and there's, when I got married recently, we had a Mexikosher wedding.
Mexikosher.
Mexikosher. Mexican and kosher. There was a mariachi band and a klezmer band, and they were playing together. So there's a synthesis, or there can be, and we can create something new also.
And to not create that synthesis is, like you say, and to rob people of the fullness and richness of the culture of Judaism. It's written in the Torah that God will gather in all the Jews to the land of Israel. He's going to gather them in from all four corners of the earth. If they come from all four corners of the earth, they're going to look drastically different from each other. They're going to have different foods. They're going to speak different languages. They're going to act different ways.
I have to say, I as a multiracial person who had some identity issues growing up, because I've always felt split, I chose Judaism because I felt it was a place where I was accepted too, though. I don't want to forget that why did we choose Judaism?
Right, we do love being.
Yeah, it's not like we're all doom and gloom.
Just FYI.
We have to remember that too, is that we chose Judaism because there was potential there. There's something, well, I chose it. I don't know if I'm a convert, but there's that potential there. And there's so many parts of Judaism that I really love.
I love it too, but that is why I am not going to let it be robbed. Exactly. It's because I love it that I'm not going to let it be robbed. Because the truth is, my people came to this way of life for spirit. They didn't come for the racism. They didn't come for anything but spirit. My great-grandmother was the first one to look out into the world and see the God of the Bible as a God that gave people choices, as a God where you could go and self-identify your relationship with God without having to go through a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus. That spirit that I honor about her, I'm not going to betray by walking around a Jewish community with racism alive and well that nobody seems to feel is necessary to clean up. It has to go because it's not a part of that beautiful spirit that is our heritage as Jews.
That's going to have to come from us, though. Like, we're going to have to start creating our own versions of the narratives and our own versions of, you know, like there was one particular Passover Haggadah for the Passover Seder, and that was illustrated for children. And the way that it was illustrated was the little tiny white children of Israel are being chased out of Egypt by these big 20-foot Africans, and they're like you know,
Bald-headed Africans.
and they're huge hulking figures, and the little blonde and red-haired Jews are running through the Red Sea. This type of narrative
With
can't.
payas and kapatas on.
Oh, and
Have you seen that one?
yeah, the painting of Mount Sinai. Everybody's got on fur hats. Go to Sinai Peninsula with a silk and polyester coat on. Watch what happens. We're gonna have to, you know, be printing sheet music for Negro spirituals in the back of the Shabbos murals, Shabbos songbooks. We're gonna, you know, have to be out there putting, you know, kosher fried plantains recipes, and how to make, you know, your own kosher tempura.
Fried cheese. I really need kosher fried cheese. I might have to go to Puerto Rico to get it, but like I need a kosher Dominican restaurant.
I got lucky. They already had the sushi kiddish, so you know I didn't have to. They had it all set up for me.
So then, what are our hopes for the future? Yuvila?
Love. I think what's most powerful, I mean, first of all, I want to contextualize this whole angry thing, because I find that it's only in spaces like this where I get to sit at a table with 3 other Jews of color for a first-time conversation between many of us. I know of you, but I haven't had conversations with you. And it's in those spaces that I feel freedom to voice things that I don't say every day. I don't say this kind of thing every day. This is a space that has been created for me to voice some things that actually need some space. So that's not me being angry, that's me being self. That's one. And then 2, the other thing is, most days, I feel like the most powerful thing I can do with my brothers and sisters in the Jewish community is to come at this work from a place of love. When I come at this work from a place of anger, it takes something from me to walk around angry. It takes something from me to have to worry about, is somebody trying to hurt me? I'm not interested in that. Life is about living, and I have to live from a place of energy and love. So the most powerful thing I want to happen in Jewish community is that we gain more space of love for one another and leave more space for people to self-define what their entry point and existence point is for their Judaism. And when I talk about that, I'm not just talking about I'm talking cross-denominationally. I'm talking about gay, straight. I'm talking about affluence versus non-affluent. I'm talking about all the areas of diversity that we have, because I think this hierarchy of privilege issue, we as Jews of color are just one manifestation of that. So we can't get at the core and the root of what's wrong in terms of what I'm experiencing until we get at that bigger picture, which is what is the cause of us creating hierarchies of value between each other as